It's Whisky In and Whisky Out for August 2022. Let's get it. Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's VinPF, and on today's episode we've got another Whisky In, Whisky Out for August 2022, the show where I literally just tell you the whiskies that I've got in this month and the bottles that I've killed this month. As always, you'll be able to check the chapters below, so if you don't care about one or the other, you can skip ahead. But hopefully you'll join me on this while I go through each one and tell you how I got it or what I think of it. And I'll give you a little bit of an insight into the bottles that I've killed, if they've changed at all, in any case. Let's get into it. We've got a long month this month. Usually it's like a couple of bottles in, a couple of bottles out, but I've got 8 bottles of whiskey and something else down here, and I've got 4 bottle kills up there, so a big episode. Let's get into it first then, and I'll go with my first bottle, which isn't whiskey, and this is the only bottle that I was sent this month, which is the Tulchan gin. Tulchan, I want to say Tulchan. I got offered this bottle, and I didn't really want it, I have to admit, but they sort of emailed me to say this gin, is designed for people who like whiskey. So I haven't opened it yet, I don't know anything about it, but I thought, you know what, if you want to send me a bottle of gin after I've said I don't like gin, but you're telling me that it's designed for people like me who like whiskey and maybe don't like gin that much, then fine, I'll give it a go. But yeah, I haven't opened it yet, so I can't give you any information on that, but this is apparently a Speyside gin. Whatever, no more information than that. My wife likes gin, so I'm going to get her to try that, I think. On to the actual proper whiskies then. Now you may have seen a couple of days ago I did my review of this, the Ballantine's Borderlands Finest. I picked that up literally because my Johnny Walker White Walker video did so well a few years ago, and I thought, why not try one of these, mainstream collaborations? They seem to do well, and funnily enough, no one else seems to have covered it on YouTube properly yet, so bit of an opportunity missed, I think, so I'm going to go for it. But there you go, hopefully you've watched that video. If you haven't, go and check it out. I bash on it a little bit, but ultimately it's a drinkable whiskey. What order to do things in? Let's do birthday whiskey. So you may not know, but August is my birthday month. It's the channel's birthday month as well, but it's also my birthday month. So I was given 3 awesome bottles this month. The first one is this Black Mountain. This is French. It's a single malt. Don't really know much about this because they don't actually have a distillery, but they do have a relationship with a distillery in their area, Auchentoshan. And my mum bought me this for my birthday, so I've tried it. It's really good, but I need to know more information about it. So I need to either get in touch with them or whatever to find out, where it's made. It's alright tasting good, but I want to know where it's made, that sort of thing. Next up, and this one's going to be coming out very soon, the Johnny Walker Green Label. Now, I don't know why I've been putting off get this, because I love it. I've always loved this. I rag on Johnny Walker a lot, especially like things like the White Walker, the Red Label. Not very good whiskies, but they do have good whiskies in their range for a reasonable price. And in my opinion, I think that's about the best one they do versus cost. Like the Blue Label. Again, I've covered that in the past. It's a very drinkable whiskey. It's quite tasty, in fact, but it is not worth the price they're charging for that. However, this one, I'm not reviewing it, but look at the whiskies that are inside this. Talisker, Linkwood, Cragganmore, Kalila. Yeah, so I'm going to be covering that very soon on my run up to Christmas, where I do some big ticket scotches. And then my final birthday whiskey was the Auchentoshan 12 years. I've been a bit guilty of ignoring Auchentoshan. They're, choose the right words, but dare I say they're a little bit boring. But I am very happy to try it again. I was given this obviously for the birthday, so it's been a while since I've tried them. I'm looking forward to seeing if my palate has gone full circle, which seems to be happening this year. I seem to be going back to those kind of lighter, characteristic ex-bourbon flavours, that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that does this year. Let's keep going. Of course, it was the Somerton Whisky Club month. We've got this. I think this is their first. This is 01, batch 01. So I think this is their first foray into proper independent bottling. And this one's a McMira, of course. This is all over here, Swedish whiskey, made in Valbo, sure. And this is at their Brook distillery rather than the Gravity distillery. Fine. I've had a little slug out of that, and I can tell you it's lovely. But of course, I'll review it in due course, but you can't buy this yet. They might have some stock left over that they release to members again later, but I don't know anything about that. You'll get that information when I cover it. Right. Okay, so we have here the Benromach Vintage 2012 Cask Strength Batch 1. I got this because on my Discord channel, if you're in it and you're in it, then great. If you're not, check out the description below for a link to join my Discord server. We do cool things like this all the time. A chap on there called James, he sorted out a blind tasting for a few of us, and there was a couple of great, well, all of them are great whiskies to be fair, but when this one came along, obviously I didn't know what it was, but I said, if this is less than 60 quid, I'll buy it, and it ended up being like 59.95. So yeah, I bought it because it was a stunning whiskey, and I can't wait to review that. Not a big fan of the new livery on this, but I'll get into that when I actually do it. Last two then. These are interesting. I got this in the same order. Master of Malt, who were an independent bottler back in when they started in 1985. They've done a whole new range of their independent bottles again. And this one is the first one of the ones that I bought, and this is the Speyside 6-year-old. This was 20 quid. 20 quid. Unfortunately, already it's sold out, so even before I've reviewed it, but you know, there are other people that reviewed it as well, so if you want to go and check out their videos, please do. But I'll cover this eventually in due course, because it's an interesting one that I think is worth keeping an eye on if they do something like this again. Because you can see, I mean, look at the colour on this, it's basically new make. But yeah, I mean, essentially you're getting a single cask whiskey for 20 quid. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's 40%, but you know, I'll get into that when I review it. But a really interesting concept for them to be able to produce that. And then finally, couldn't resist this, the Girvan 31-year-old single grain, from the same sort of range. You know, this is release number 5, this was release number 27, and yeah, I mean, you can see already I've been hitting this hard. I need to review this quickly so then I can put it up on my shelf and try and forget I've got it, because it's so good that I'll just keep tapping into it. That's the Whisky In then, so a lot to cover this. You know, that's all going in the review queue. Again, as always, if you want to see some of these get bumped up the list a little bit, please do put it in the comments below of the reviews you actually want to see versus the ones that you don't want to see maybe, and I'll try and bump them up the queue a little bit, because I don't really have a queue. I just decide each week what I want to cover and what I don't want to cover. So I've got a few behind me that have been in the review queue for like a year, and they just keep getting superseded by something else. So yeah, let me know what you actually want to see. Alright then, moving on, we've got the Whisky Out. I've only got 4 this month. I'm just going to grab these from over here in the order that I can reach them. First one then is the Mellow Corn. I got this probably I think for my birthday maybe last year, or I want to say Christmas or something like that. Maybe Christmas. So it's lasted me a while, but this was lovely. You know, for the price that we pay for it, which is not a lot, it's like 30 odd quid, 50% corn, Kentucky straight corn whiskey. Go and check out my review of that, because that didn't change too much as it went down. It was just good all the way through it, and I really enjoyed that. I don't have many American whiskies on my shelf right now. It's just an availability thing, so it was nice to have that, and because I had it and it was one of the few that I had, I reached for it a lot, and now it's gone. Then we've got the Jura 18. This one was featuring in my Dram Slam episode, so if you've been watching that, thank you. If you've missed out on my podcast, make sure you go and check that out. And I said in that quite frequently that I've been keeping it around, I've not been touching it, because I've been doing those recordings, and now that's finished, I just went for it and killed it. Not a very interesting whiskey, it was alright, it tastes fine, it's fairly cheap for an 18-year-old, but so what? Yeah, it was okay. Check out my video of that as well. Second to last then, we have the Old Ballantrae peated. This is the no age statement version, the one that's relatively cheap in comparison to the rest of them. They do like a 10-year-old and a bit more on top of that as well. I bought this after a tasting with the guys that make it, and bought it immediately. Had to be done, because it's really interesting that it's made by the same people that make the Gentle Dram, Tomintoul. Is it Tomintoul? One of the two. You know me. Again, you know, I mean, I can see through this just about with my big shiny light back here, but I really hate these black bottles. I wish they didn't exist. I mean, look at this, look. It's so light, and they're just putting it through the clear bottle saying, yep, it's light, have at it. I think we just need to get over the colour of whiskey, and then people can stop adding colour to it, and we can just have it as it is. Rant. Last bottle then, the Glasgow 1770 peated. Again, this was on the Dram Slams, and I got 2 bottles. I got one more up here, which is pretty much full there, and I had this one as part of the Dram Slams that I was pouring for myself. And when I finished recording those, this went in the kill list, because That's actually open. I don't know why I've got both of them open, but that's open, and I thought I don't need 2 open bottles, so I got it killed. There you go. That's Whisky In, Whisky Out for this month. Of course, this has been a slightly longer episode, so if you've stuck with me, then again, very grateful. But yeah, let me know, again, what reviews you want to see, but also let me know what whiskies you got in and killed this month. I imagine that the vast majority of you don't sort of get in as many and kill as many as I do, but I'd love to know, especially because you guys get some really good stuff. Because you're only buying 1 or 2 bottles a month, you get to focus in and buy those really good bottles, and I love reading those comments, so please let me know. Okay, that's it for another Whisky In, Whisky Out. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again for next month's one, and of course new reviews every Thursday. See you soon.